Hey guys, welcome back to Feather and Down Homestead. Today, in this Shed Wars episode, I'm just going to tell you some quick things of what I've learnt this season in Shed Wars so far. So, one big thing that I've learnt, and that I've only just done since the Shed Wars started by the way, is planting behind pigs. Now, I have potatoes, I have pumpkins, I have watermelons, and I have just random tomato plants over here in the watermelon that's just randomly come up from the pigs. So I really like the idea of growing behind the pigs, so this coming year I might just utilise most of that paddock. Probably not all of it, but we'll see. The other thing that I've learnt is over here we have just in the middle there, don't know if you can see, but they're long beans. So I don't know if you guys call them snake beans or whatnot, but they are very late producers in their beans. So I think maybe the flowers are just coming on, but yeah, I think I've learnt that sometimes it's good to be patient in the garden and don't just think you're going to get something straight away. The other thing I've learnt is that these bitter melons, you know, these things that I've showed you before, is just before they, well, when they get too overripe, they end up like this. And that there is all the seeds in there. So if I get around to it, I will be harvesting those seeds. Another thing I've learnt is the sunflowers. Is it's good to get the sunflower seeds and that before the birds. So the birds have pretty much cleaned up all of this sunflower patch. Luckily last year we had 2 big jars full of giant sunflower seeds, so luckily I have enough for next year, so it's no biggie. And I have learnt that you can actually eat the like this whole head when it's just got the sunflowers in there. So that's one tip I've learnt from I think it's Flower Folk Farm down here in the southern hemisphere. So maybe check out her video, it's quite a cool video, and I was meaning to try it but time got ahead of me. I've learnt that watermelon doesn't grow good everywhere. Grows good over there by the bananas. We have got a ton of watermelon up there, but over here it's just all greenery, so it hasn't done good in the wood chip garden. What I have learnt is leek over here as I stand over these strawberry plants. Leek I can grow in summer in my growing zone, so that's quite cool. But broccoli I would not suggest to grow over summer, because all it does is bolt. You know, I might be able to get some flowers out of it, but that's about it. And also Brussels sprouts I can grow over summer, which I have learnt. Now a big one is that garden over there. That has tomatoes, strawberries, silver beet, lettuce, radish, and it is totally neglected. Why? Because that was the kids' garden, and it is partially my fault because I sort of promised them that I would help them out with weeding and that, but it's not happened, and it's okay. They're kids and they're learning, and yeah, so just with kids as well, be patient, and when they're gardening and that, just don't give them too much to do. Just let them go at their pace and they will slowly learn to enjoy it. The other thing is the okra over here. This is the first year I've grew okra. Now it's about whatever that is, about almost a metre high. Now I think it's Jules Small Gardening. I seen his okra and it was massive. So if you want to check his channel out, it was Shed Wars last year, so you have to go back quite a few videos. But check him out and see his okra, because I'd love to grow okra that tall. And I think he was supposed to win a challenge then and he didn't, so yeah. But first year growing okra, and we have learnt to love okra. Now okra, I have to admit, okra and the bitter gourd, I asked some workmates what they wanted for me to grow for them so I can sell, because I am quite an entrepreneur by heart. I always try to make money on the homestead as much as I can, because my goal is to stay home and look after the family and make a business on the land rather than having to work. But I have a great job, so I'm thankful for my job. But yeah, so they were both to sell, but okra I kind of me and the wife kind of fell in love with, so it was a big surprise to both of us. And yeah, so okra is awesome. If you haven't grown it, grow it. Now here in the raspberry patch, what I have learnt is that the raspberries do not like weeds. They hate weeds. So on the other side of there, I put tarp down, and like these yellow raspberries here, like they've grown phenomenally. So phenomenally, something like that. But yeah, at the moment, as bad as this guy looks, he is actually protecting these yellow raspberries. That's well, if the birds don't like them, that is. I don't know. Either he's doing his job good, or the birds don't like this type of raspberry. The other thing I've learned is that if you're gonna grow a type of flint corn, I think that's what they're called, so gemstone and all that type of corn. Josh from In Your Yard Homestead and Sue Gannon, those two grow awesome flint corn. Like they're like blue, and then Sue's got some mini Chinese ones that are quite cool. Mine are just gemstone corn, so they got all the pretty colours that you could see in I think it's 2 videos ago. And what I have learnt is that if you're going to grow them, do not grow them beside your sweet corn, because little did I know that they can cross-pollinate like that. So there was a few corn we couldn't use. There was chicken feed. Well, I hope they can eat it. They didn't die. So yeah, but don't do that. If you're going to grow corn this year, either stagger them by a few months or plant them in different areas. But I did stagger them about a month, so maybe just plant them in different areas. I don't know, some people might say differently, but that's what I reckon. Okay, another thing I've learnt is that tomatoes, they never stop growing. So I thought I could tame them. I thought I can take them sky high, but there's just a point of time where you have to say all right and just give up. So basically I've just let these guys go over. They're not snapping yet, but if they do snap, as you can see, there's still plenty of tomatoes, and I've already got over 100 kg, so I'm happy with the produce already. I seem to overplant or overdo whatever I do in the garden, so that's cool. But another thing I've learnt is as you can see there, these critters, these stink bugs, they're smashing my tomatoes. Now I could use neem oil and all that stuff, but I just squirt them with the hose and that seems to get them off, but they probably just climb back up, so I don't know if that does the trick or not. But as I said, I've got enough tomatoes, I'm happy, and at the moment we're just selling them, keeping a few for lunches and stuff, but yeah, they have made some money, so that's good. What else have I learnt in here? I've learnt that eggplant and peppers, you can grow them quite close together. Like over here, they're pretty close. They're like I don't know, maybe 4 inches apart. Most of this row and the other rows, they do grow, but the only thing to keep in mind is I think they kind of get a bit stunted. So like as they would be over here, if I gave them more room and their roots to grow a bit more, they might be up here. So I think next year that's a lesson I'm going to learn and act on next year. One thing I definitely am keeping that I've learned from last year is beans grow really well with tomatoes, hands down. And I don't know why, maybe they're nitrogen fixers, maybe that's the reason, but that's just how it is. Okay, here's a biggie. Where do I start with this? The corn. This is the corn patch, which me and the kids planted out, and it's done super well with like cobs and stuff like that. But this is the Three Sisters, and this is the reason why I'm not doing Three Sisters, maybe never again, but don't hold me to that word. Okay, so this is why Three Sisters works, right? The corn and the beans and the pumpkin, that's the Three Sisters, or squash. Now the beans grow up the corn, so the corn helps the bean grow up, and the bean gives nitrogen to the corn, and the pumpkin acts as a bottom dweller to keep the weeds down and whatnot. Something like that. I'm not perfect in my explanation, but something like that. So here's what goes wrong. Here's what they don't tell you about the Three Sisters. Okay? Now what? Yeah, I don't know if this is for everyone, but it's for me. Okay, the beans we grew everywhere in the corn. Now, the beans in the middle you can't get to pick them. And if you can get them, you destroy the corn because you're going in there pushing over the corn. And then the other thing is the pumpkin wants light, right? So the pumpkin first, it's all right when the plants, that big, but once they go up, they want to go across, and then there goes your corn. Boom! That's what happened over here. Look at it. Look at the destruction. Let's get a better view of this. In here. Look at it. All this is over, and all that is just slowly going over. Especially when there's a pumpkin growing in the middle of the air. Okay? And the thing is, when my corn is upright, the cobs, they don't get damaged. But when they're down here, I mean, look at this. I have no idea what is doing this damage, if it's rats or if it's birds or whatnot, but it is easy pickings for these guys. And a lot of it's getting destroyed, other than the ones that are standing up. So the Three Sisters garden, nah, not for me. It's for you, but not for me. Okay, another big lesson I've learned this year is the ground cherries. I've forgotten the other name for them, but we love them, and we have them up the top by the rabbits, just a corner, and they keep growing back, which is great. But in here, it's like overload of them, but for some reason the little worm bugs get them. Now I think it's just a location issue, so that's alright, but I'm wiping out this bed and getting rid of this stuff. It's no good. Another lesson I've learnt this year is the okra and the bitter gourd just growing on the ground, they really work together and they keep the weeds down. So that's a big lesson. I might do that next year. They do go a bit crazy like over here. They're quite viney and they go up, but if you can control the beast, then it's great. Okay, in this disaster of a greenhouse, it's a kids' garden again. I'm gonna keep blaming the kids. We've got tomatoes, beans, cucumbers, everything in there, but I just can't get in there. And if I can get in there, I either get spiked by the zucchini or stink bugs fall on me everywhere. So I pretty much just left all this produce to be, and next year I will put benches everywhere, wood chip all down, and it'll just be my seed raising tables for spring. But yeah, that's my lesson, is I don't need a greenhouse. I'm not being cocky or anything, but when you have so much land to grow on and you do so much preserving, sometimes it's not worth it just to get a little bit of head start in the season to grow some stuff and then end up like this. Okay, another thing I've learned is kale. In our growing zone, whatever that may be, we can grow kale all year round, which is great because we feed a lot to our bunnies and we make smoothies in that fall. But the only thing we'll change is the Russian kale we don't like as much as the dino kale. So I will grow more of the dino kale next year. And this is about the last lesson I've learned is grass and weeds grows faster than your garden. So sometimes you just got to let it go. Don't stress and just let it be done when it gets done. Gardening is all about enjoying the time in the garden and not stressing, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It just is what it is. So on that note, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I just want to say, be kind to each other, look after each other, and support all of the Shed Wars community. Love you all. Catch you guys later. Look out. Okay. Another big lesson I've learned this year. Okay, another big lesson I've learned this year is what are they called? Oh, I got some big bittermelon down here.